Yeah, Hunter was gonna say something because he unmuted. You have something to say to that, Hunter?
I mean, in regarding to like splitting the moon specifically, it's just I'm curious how that story did end up into the Quran when there. I mean, like for example, they like to use the example of like the Chinese have something where it talks about the moon splitting, but that was actually much later on. And the splitting of the moon specifically is not actually based on anything historical. It's actually based on something complete myth, on another different legend that has no connection whatsoever to Muhammad or anything. So I'm just like, and again, it's like Asian like folklore, like Asian. Oh gosh, like Asian legend and stuff like that. So I'm just really curious to see how that story would have like made itself into Islam when it actually doesn't have any actual legitimate historical backing whatsoever. So just like how like from an oral idea, the Gnostic text, we know that are absolute legend, the forgeries. They made their way into the oral transmission of the Quran. I'm curious to see how that story ended up in the oral transmission as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a fair point. Islam could have had the same amount of heresies as like Christianity does, and
Yeah.
they just didn't have a
Actually, they didn't
they
have
just
what?
Go
I'm
ahead.
didn't
sorry.
have a they just didn't have like a magisterium to like say that these heresies are wrong.
You know what I would say though? I would say Islam doesn't have heresies necessarily to the like like Christianity does. I think
Hmm.
Islam is nothing but one giant big heresy that is based on those other Christian and Jewish heresies with pagan origins and the stamp of approval of the fake Abrahamic faith.
Hmm.
Yeah, no, that's Saint John
Uh,
Damascene's position. His claim is that Muhammad
Oh,
learned about Christianity and plagiarized it from an Arian monk. So you kind of see
oh,
this. The scriptures reflect the references to the Christian Bible about the story of Jesus and life of Jesus reflect the Arian view.
interesting. See,
Yeah.
now I didn't know that. Do you have is there a way you could send
Let me.
that work to me?
ooh, that is an interesting position.
Because
So
I've actually
go
been
ahead.
I've been actually studying on my own the Gnostic derivations of Christian folklore tales like Gospel of Thomas, Gospel of Enoch, the Gospel of Mary, 12 Apostles, all those forgeries.
Hmm.
They were written way after Jesus, the heresies and everything.
Hmm.
And I've
I
been
just I
studying
just
more.
posted it for you. This is his
Did,
critique of Islam.
can you DM it to me directly? Because I'm actually driving right now and I'm actually having to go. So is there a way you can DM that to me
I just
directly?
DM'd it.
Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, great. Okay, I gotta head out though, so I will talk to you. God bless.
God bless you.
That's why I always bring up John Damascene. I know you guys in here have like heard me just beat it like a dead horse over and over again, but
Yeah.
like,
I have a really
John
good question
Damascene.
for you, Abisma.
what's that?
Well, it does add up then if we understand what Saint John does. What is it? Does mean?
Damascene,
Or Damascene, yes. What Saint John Damascene said about
Damascus.
like yes, Damascus, how he learned apparently Muhammad learned from an Aryan monk. It would make sense to some degree, but what I still wouldn't understand though from that perspective, how Muhammad would have got Mary confused. And I understand apostolic Christianity had to exist in that standpoint, but I don't understand how Muhammad would have got Mary confused
So
into that.
What do you mean Mary
I
confused?
No, because the Trinity,
because
according to the Quran, is Maryam, Isa, and Allah, according to the Quran.
Yeah, but the reason
so
why, and Sam Shimon does a very good job of this. Okay, so stick with me here. Okay, I'm gonna go a little bit. I want to give you a broad view. Okay, of
Mm-hmm.
how my perspective is on it. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll address that. So if let's say Saint John Damascene is correct, and that it's nothing more than an Arian heresy,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to disclaim that Satan or evil force have anything to do with it, but let's say that's it, and Muhammad was illiterate, right? And he was just too stupid, and he just plagiarized the parts of Christianity that he knew in order to try to placate his own kind of, religious authority. and that's what he's doing in
Mhm.
the Quran, okay? Then
Mhm.
the same errors that were apparent in Arianism are going to be reflected in his telling, right? In the metaphysical or epistemological conclusions you could draw from his retelling of the Jesus narrative, including everything that he says about Mary, if he left it as the Arian version within the Quran, which now the
Mhm.
Muslims all see the Quran as authoritative way of
Mhm.
talking metaphysically about those realities, okay?
Yeah.
So I'm going to answer that question of how they confuse what the Trinity actually is, okay? Because
Mhm.
that Trinitarian formula that they have is a
Mhm.
reflection of the Arian heresy. And I'll explain to you how.
Mhm.
But what makes it so insidious, right, is that if you want to address the circularities, right,
Mhm.
and the logical fallacies, the logical in contradictions that are apparent in in even their understanding of God's relationship to Mary and Mary's relationship to Jesus,
Mhm.
you have to be able to talk in Arabic in order to do it.
Yeah.
So that's why Sam Shamo. So to me, the whole apologetic against against Islam is the same apologetic against Arianism, but you have to do it in Arabic. You have to know Arabic in order to effectively uh, refute
Ooh.
Islam, because you
That's
have
an
to do it with their
interesting.
own scripture. Guess who does this the best? Who's the goat? It's Sam Shimon. I'm
Mhm.
gonna link you the video. Do you have access to a computer right now, Luke?
Yeah.
So we're gonna answer your question, which is how are they metaphysically confusing their Trinity between one being God, Mary, and Jesus? That's what we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Because the Arian error is preserved in the Quran's narrative about the life of Jesus and Mary,
Mhm.
particularly how the Spirit interacts with Mary. And you're gonna see Sam Shimon fucking do this, okay?
Okay.
So you watching the stream?
This is actually a very interesting perspective.
Okay, here we go. We're doing it now. You ready?
I'm very familiar with how he argues.
But it's on this one. He's gonna. So your question is how is it that they still, their Trinity just seems something completely foreign, and it tries to put Mary in the Trinity, right? Which
Mhm.
obviously is a logical error. Like we recognize this, right? We are not logically
Mhm.
saying that Mary is part of the Trinity, right? But how
Mhm.
do they fucking get confused about it?
Mhm. Yeah.
Surah Maryam, chapter 19 of the Quran. Now I want you to read slowly, 16 to 21, slowly. But read 16 to 19 first. Okay, so. But slowly. And mention, O Muhammad, in the book, the story of Mary when she withdrew from her family to a place toward the east. And she took in seclusion from them a screen. Then we sent to her our angel. No, it doesn't say angel. It doesn't say angel. Correct it. That's a mistranslation. What's the Arabic word? It's ruh. Ruhana. Ruhana. Yes, so we sent her our spirit, right? Sahih International.
Yes,
says that.
I'm very
Did
familiar with the Ruh. I'm very
did you
familiar with the
did you
Ruah.
catch this? So
Mhm.
in there, he's going straight to the surah on the Immaculate Conception, because we like to say, right, like, oh yeah,
Mhm.
Muslims believe in the Immaculate Conception too,
Mhm.
but they deceive us because they in their translation from the English into,
Mhm.
or excuse me, from the Arabic into English, they translate it as angel, and then
Yeah,
they'll
well,
go around,
actually, what's
no, the
very
angel had
interesting.
sex with, right, but that's not the Arabic word.
Yeah, the Arabic word is ruhana. Yes, I'm very familiar with
Correct.
the Ruah. The Ruah, yes. The Ruah of Allah. Yes,
So what's
correct.
going to happen is he's going to show the
I've
logical
watched this.
fallacy for Muslim to hold that Trinitarian theology doesn't exist even in the Quran.
Mm.
I could care if it's Da'if International. Hassan, it doesn't matter. The Arabic is ruh. It doesn't say angel. Yeah, in Arabic it says ruhana. Okay, so we sent her our spirit. That's why other translations like Tiktal and Arberi, it says ruh. So we sent her our ruh, our spirit. Now keep going. And he represented himself to her as a well-proportioned man. Keep on. She said, indeed, I seek refuge in the most merciful from you, so leave me if you should be fearing of Allah. He said, I am only the messenger of your Lord to give you news of a pure. Stuck for Allah, stuck for Allah, the Sahih International. How dare it butcher the word of your God? It doesn't say, I'm only a messenger of the Lord to give you news. That's not in Arabic. It's li ahabba. I've come to give you a faultless son. Correct the English. It says, قال إنما أنا رسول ربك لأحب لك. لأحب لك. It means I came to give you a faultless son. It doesn't say news. So corrected. What did the Spirit actually say? I'm only a messenger of your Lord, sent to give you a faultless son, right? Sent to give you a faultless son. Yeah, li ahaba isn't I give you news. I give you. The word news is not in the Arabic.
It's not. No, the word news is not directly there. But
Okay, so translate it word for word. That's why other translations say, I am only a messenger of your Lord sent to give you a faultless son. Okay, so who's going to give her a son?
the angel by the will of
You
God.
said angel again? I'm going to give you $10 million. Show me the word angel. Where'd you get angel? It said spirit. So who gave her a
Do you
faultless
see
son?
how dishonest they
According
are?
to the
Yeah,
Quran.
yeah, I'm
Right there.
very
What
familiar
you're reading,
with
that's
this
the Quran, right?
argument.
Who gave her a faultless son?
According
I'm
to
familiar
it
with
says
it.
angel.
Oh my goodness, I'm going to hit my head against the wall. The word is not angel in the Arabic. You just read it.
Yeah, do you
Ruhana,
know
it's
that
spirit.
some
Who
Muslims
gave
try to
her
argue
a
that
faultless-
it's Jibril or Gabriel?
Yeah.
They argue that the Holy Spirit is Gabriel, even though that Gabriel is separate from the angels and from Allah and from the humans. So
It's
therefore, Sam
so
Shimon's argument
dishonest.
is he's a genie. Yes, I'm familiar with the argument.
So wait, Gabriel is a new type of creature, separate from angels and humans and
Yes,
God.
yes, yes. And apparently, according to the Hadith, he's an angel with over 600 wings. Apparently.
That kind of reminds me of
Lucifer.
like Arianism, where
No,
the
that's
Jehovah's Witnesses
precisely what we're
say,
saying. It's
yeah,
Arianism.
yeah, where like Jesus is different than God, human, and angels.
Now you get it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
that's the thing. If Damascene is right, then all you have is a plagiarism of Christianity in the Arian heretical way. So that's going to be if that hypothesis is correct, if John Damascene is correct, that's going to be reflected in the metaphysics of their that's retained in the
Yeah.
Quran. So they know
Hmm.
this, which is why the the whatchamacallit, imams knew of this, right? Obviously, they've been studying it for centuries, right? And they've been
Mhm.
teaching their people in this wrong way to translate it in the English as angel and not as ruah. You get what I mean? They're being
Yeah.
loose with their metaphysics in order to try to get around this problem.
You know what's actually crazy, Abismo? When I've argued with Muslims and I show them, Allah's the greatest deceiver, they'll argue against the Arabic and say, no, that means best of planners. No, that's not what the Arabic means. It means best of deceivers. I've argued with them, and I have to like nail them on the argument, but they just are so intellectually dishonest.
they try to tell me that the moon is like there's somewhere where like they have a prophecy where the moon is reflecting light. I looked up the
No.
yeah, I looked at the word. Like one of the translations of the word is light and not reflection. They just they changed
Mm-hmm.
the
Do you know
English
why? Do you
from
know
Yeah,
why?
because they're trying to
luminary
make the
to
Quran
reflection
scientific.
and to
They're trying to make
try
it
to prove that
scientific.
this is superhuman knowledge or
See,
like
this
I
is the
mean
argument based off the
I
scientific
I think
miracles.
I
Have
think
you heard the arguments?
Yeah.
Satan probably when he was making the Quran or
Mm-hmm.
whatever he probably knew that the moon was reflecting light, but God did not allow him to give
Mm-hmm.
knowledge that humans did not know. But
Yeah.
actually, the funny thing is, I think some people like there's some Greek philosophers that like thought that the moon was just a rock or something like that, and not a light. But I would have to double check that. So yeah, and then they were just like lying to me, being like, "Don't worry, we know the Arabic. We're not going to lie to you about the Arabic."
Well, do you know what's even more interesting to prove Islam is satanic? According to the Quran, which you can actually find very distinct, according to Jesus, you cannot, you're supposed to die for the faith and, confess in Christ and do not deny because, denying is, Jesus, Peter, repented over that. But you know what Muhammad did? According to the Quran, you can actually lie. You can actually lie and deny your faith. You can. So that's very dishonest that the Muslims can lie whenever they need to. Because that's Satan's religion. If this is from the same God, why does he contradict himself so many times? He's like, nah, you know
Yeah,
what? The Torah and gospel, when I said I'm a
wait,
father, you guys are actually wrong, even
is
though I told you this for over 1400 years.
in Christianity, we know there's like a reward for martyrs in heaven,
Correct.
but so that's why we
There
wouldn't
is,
line about our faith.
well,
Even
the
a
Muslims,
baptism of blood. Yeah,
yes, well,
but
do you know, the Muslims actually can still Do you know that the Muslims, according to a hadith, actually, all you have to confess is that Allah is God and you'll be saved, according to one of the hadiths, actually?
Yes, you would spend I think one of the ways that can happen is um you have monotheism as the size of a mustard seed, and if
Mhm.
basically you would just stay in hell until either Muhammad rescues you from hell, or someone that you know memorized the Quran in Arabic perfectly
Well, yeah,
rescues you from hell.
Yeah, but also what's really bad for the like Muslims that they can't explain to me. How come Jesus has been on with Allah on above the throne for over 2000 years and Muhammad's been buried in the grave? They can't still explain that, and why does he come and do judgment? Why does he come in the end days? Why not your prophet? They still can't answer that. I
Yeah.
mean, this is the reason what Satan does. He does a paradox,
Now,
or he tries to argue saying, "Oh, yep, the Bible is actually true and false at the same exact time," because Satan's the author of confusion, you know, plus the accuser.
Yes, sir. Do you want to continue to watch this video, or are you guys done with the
I
video?
no, I
You
think I think we're good with. I'm very
okay?
familiar with the argument,
Okay.
I'm eating spicy food, so
Okay.
that's why I'm coughing and muting myself.
but like abysmal.
It just says we.
Wait, what? That I don't know. I don't know where he gets it. And from what and that's the thing, man. I don't know Arabic, so I can't really say myself. Like what I heard some people say is that like what other Christians say is that the actual translation, like the actual in the Arabic, it's not referring to virgins at all or something. So like the imams, like apparently whatever in the hadiths, like some hadiths say that it's virgins, some say that it's something else, like a different being that's not a human, but is like a virgin. You know what I mean? But they're referring to like sexual pleasure that you're gonna have, like pleasure that's like the same thing or even better than sexual pleasure in heaven, like 72 times or some shit. I don't know. You can't. Yeah, I think the reason why I think the reason why you know when it comes to that like story of like the moon and stuff like this and the fracturing of the moon is because Allah is literally Baal worship. That's where the whole moon mythology actually comes from. Because Baal was like a moon god. So like some of these like older legends came from that kind of I think that's what it is. It made it into it. You know what's weird? There's so wait before you expand upon that, I just wanted to say real quick. You know how it's funny? They how do these people know that we're talking about Islam right now and then all of a sudden we just have a bunch of like three Muslim trolls just show up to just start talking nonsense. But go ahead. Sorry. So moon idolatry, Supreme? Right. Yeah. Okay. So Satan isn't he isn't lying, he's just being deceptive. Clever girl. Clever girl. Interesting. Yeah, yeah, that's in the Hadith. That's a contradiction because in the Quran, like it explicitly states that no person could actually vicariously die or carry the sins of another person. But then their hadiths will contradict that and say that, well, when it comes to a Jew and Christian, like God, every Muslim that goes to heaven, that goes to Jannah, is going to have a Christian, atone for their sins. But go ahead. Or Christian and Jew, yeah. No, it doesn't. That's a Thomistic metaphysical cosmology that Dante writes his Divine Comedy from. Dante's Divine Comedy? No, 1308, 1320, 1321. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not that you're wrong logically. It's just that the historical so there's no quote unquote belief in like seven, so there's nothing revelatory about seven layers of heaven. Okay, it's a metaphysical like cosmology that was created from an Aristotelian worldview, from from classical fundamentalism. That's really what that is. So the Thomists at the time, they according to their cosmological assumptions, they were trying to be like, well, like there's seven like layers of stars or whatever, seven orbits, right there, that's going to be the same going down to hell. And then Dante Alighieri, like he writes the Divine Comedy and kind of reflects the both the descent and the ascent in the same Thomistic way. But yeah, it's just a metaphysical thing. It's not real. Yeah, what's going on, man? Yeah, we literally just talked about this right before you got here, and then no, no, go ahead because you've seen what? Hmm. Hmm. Well, so we just literally covered one where they can't escape from, but go ahead, Luke. Great. That's their epistemology. So are you looking for a different argument? You're saying one that's not based on historical references or sources, right? Are you looking for internal contradictions within the Quran itself that can't be disclaimed? Okay. Got it. So, okay, so you kind of did mention St. John Damascene, right? But I wouldn't consider it just as historical. What is historical that remains from Damascene is his actual critique. Okay, so we're gonna go over this again. You guys mind, Luke and Supreme? Because Ramon just got here. Okay, so I'm gonna do the setup for you. Are you aware, first of all, of what the core thesis of Saint John Damascene is when it comes to his critique of Islam? Correct. So that Muhammad learned about Christianity from an Arian priest. That's his thesis, John Damascene's claim. Okay. So the idea here is that we know that that is historically true that St. John Damascene said these things. Okay. What we don't know if it is exactly historically true that this was the case in the case of Muhammad. But in order to test Damascene's theory, right, we would have to, even in a probabilistic way, all we would have to establish is the probability that what can be demonstrated from the Quran itself would be, when it pertains to the narrative of the life of Christ, anything that involves the Christian story, so to speak, as it is represented in the Quran, if it could be demonstrated even probabilistically that the same errors of Arianism metaphysically appear in the Quran's telling of the Christian narrative, and subsequent interpretations, right, of just the Quran itself reflect the same Arian like equivocations philosophically, then it could stand to reason that St. John Damascene's hypothesis is more probable than not, right? Okay, so can we do this? So here's the thing: we're gonna go from the beginning again. Let me set up my OBS really quick so we can capture this. Dante's Divine Comedy. So check out the stream, Ramon. Here's what makes it very deceptive, because Luke actually made this question earlier when we were talking about it earlier. The question, there's a specific incongruity when it comes to Muslims' claim about how, the Trinity is heretical, right? According to them, they're thinking that the Christian development of the Trinity is part of the corruption, right, of the belief in Allah as one. Okay. Now, apart from getting into the metaphysical issues about the one and the many and all this stuff, we don't have to do that. We just take from the Quran itself. But from the telling of the Quran, when it comes to preserving those kind of metaphysical distinctions that we know in either both Plato and Aristotle, which are obviously operative even within the Muslim context, even before the Quran happens, there's a problem with the way, logically, within the Quran's telling of God's relationship to Mary and Mary's relationship to Jesus. So Muslims pejoratively talk about, if there is a Trinity, then it's one in which Mary is part of the Trinity in some way, in order to get around a much more fundamental problem that they have in interpretation, in translation. So San Shimon does this very well because the only way to tease this out, for obvious reason, is if you know and hold the Muslim accountable to the actual Arabic. Okay, here we go. You ready?
Let me play your game. Show me the word Tawheed in the Quran.
Tawheed. Okay. قل هو الله أحد.
Ahad is not Tawheed, and grammatically it's incorrect. But give me the word Tawheed. See, I'm going to play your game. Why are you embarrassing yourself? Be honest before God if you fear God.
I can refute you because it doesn't mean mother of the book doesn't mean literally there is a mother.
No, I'm sorry. I'm going to take it literally because Allah can't have a son unless he has a consort. It came from your own mouth. Yeah, that's the Trinity.
I never said that.
Yes, you did. It's recorded.
I didn't say verbatim. I didn't say.
Oh, you want the word Trinity? The word exact word?
Yes. Or
Okay.
something similar. Since.
Okay, wait. Let's play your game.
How about just
Let me play your game. Show me the word Tawheed in the Quran.
Tawheed. Okay. قل هو الله أحد.
Ahad is not Tawheed, and grammatically it's incorrect. But give me the word Tawheed. See, I'm going to play your game.
In the Quran.
Yeah, no, in my mother's diary, in her will. Exactly. See? Show me the word Tawheed in the Quran.
I just said it.
Okay, show me where it says Allah is only one shakhs or one person.
It doesn't say one shakhs because God doesn't ever identify himself as.
You want to bet? In the hadith, he's called a shakhs and a shay.
I am not. I don't like.
Don't do that again. I'm going to embarrass you, sister. Sister, if you reject hadith, we're going to have fun.
Manipulated by men. I'm not. Hadith
You mean the same hadith that you know you need to know the Quran? Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. You don't play games, sister. You don't choose the
I'm not
hadith you
playing
like.
the game.
Okay. Now, since you want to play that game because you want to prove, I'm not going to prove the Trinity in your Quran. Go to Surah Al-Maryam, chapter 19 of the Quran.
Okay. Surah Maryam.
Chapter 19 of the Quran.
Mhm.
Now, I want you to read slowly, 16 to 21, slowly. But read 16 to 19 first.
Okay. So.
But slowly.
And mention, O Muhammad, in the book, the story of Mary when she withdrew from her family to a place toward the east. And she took in seclusion from them a screen. Then we sent to her our angel.
No, it
He
doesn't say
represented
angel.
himself-
It doesn't say angel. Correct it. That's a mistranslation. What's the Arabic word? It's ruh. Ruhana.
Ruhana.
Yes. So we sent her our spirit, right?
Sahih International said.
I could care if it's Da'if International. Hassan, it doesn't matter. The Arabic is ruh. It doesn't say angel.
Yeah, in Arabic it says Ruhana.
Okay, so we sent her our spirit. That's why other translations like Tiktal and Arberi, it says ruh. So we sent her our ruh, our spirit. Now keep going.
And he represented himself to her as a well-proportioned man.
Keep going.
She said, "Indeed, I seek refuge in the most merciful from you. So leave me if you should be fearing of Allah."
Don't
He
say-
said, "I am only the messenger of your Lord to give you news of a pure
Let's
Lord."
stuck for Allah. We stuck for Allah. This is international. How dare it butcher the word of your God? It doesn't say, I'm only a messenger of the Lord to give you news. That's not in Arabic. It's li ahabba. I've come to give you a faultless son. Correct the English.
It says, "قال إنما أنا رسول ربك لأحب لك."
Li ahabba
Yeah.
laki. It means I came to give you a faultless son. It doesn't say news. So correct it. What did the Spirit actually say? I'm only a messenger of your Lord, sent to give you a faultless son. Right?
Sent to give you a faultless son.
Yeah. Li ahabba isn't I give you news. I give you. The word news is not in the Arabic.
It's not. No, the word news is not directly there. But
Okay,
that's
so
what-
translate it word for word. That's why other translations say, I am only a messenger of your Lord, sent to give you a faultless son. Okay, so who's going to give her a son?
The angel by the will of
You
God.
said angel again? I'm going to give you $10 million. Show me the word angel. Oh,
Do you get this? The Trinity, the Christian Trinity is already there in the Quran. And they keep translating into the English that doesn't reflect the meaning in the Arabic in order to avoid the obvious logical problem, right, Ramon? We're going to continue.
Where'd you get angel? It said spirit. So who gave her a faultless son?
According to the Quran.
Right there. What you're reading, that's the Quran, right? Who gave her a faultless son?
According to, it says angel.
Oh my goodness, I'm going to hit my head against the wall. The word is not angel in the Arabic. You just read it. Ruhana, it's spirit. Who gave her the
Yeah.
faultless son?
It just says we blew our spirit, but
No, that's somewhere else.
Angel.
Are you reading in front of your eyes? We sent her our spirit who appeared as a man. The spirit said, I'm only a messenger of your Lord to give you. So who gave her the faultless son? It's in front of you.
The angel.
The word angel is not in the Arabic. My goodness. Can you say it? The spirit.
No, because I don't have. Okay, is there a different English translation? That
Yes,
says spirit?
Piktal and
Is that-
Arbery. There's many translations, man. But you don't need it. You read the Arabic. You read the Arabic. In 17, it says ruh. It's
Yeah,
spirit.
but yes, we said ruh, and that means spirit, and we know in Arabic malak is angel.
Yes. So who gave her the
Yes.
faultless son in that chapter?
Correct, but you're like we're just taking one verse.
No, I'm going to give you other verses. My goodness, you're
in
impatient.
context.
I'm going to give you context. My goodness, I'm going to give it to you if you can answer. You haven't even answered this. Who gave her a faultless son?
Ruhana.
Okay, translate, please.
Ruhana.
Translate.
Whoa, hold up. Did you just hear Sam Shamoon lay down the gauntlet? The way he challenges her to stay consistent with her own Quran is just chef's kiss. Let's break this down because this is pure debate gold. When the female Muslim tried to deflect, saying it was an angel who brought Mary the news of her son, Sam caught her red-handed. The Arabic text clearly says ruh, which translates to spirit, not angel. Big difference. And Sam doesn't let this slide. He even doubles down by asking her to find the word angel in the text. Spoiler alert, she couldn't. Then the clincher, Sam showed how the Quran itself attributes the giving of the son to the spirit. This is where her argument crumbles. She insisted it was an angel by the will of God, but Sam kept it real. If the Quran says spirit, you can't just insert angel to fit your narrative.
Why are you embarrassing yourself? Be honest before God if you fear God. It's ruh,
No, if we're
spirit.
going to talk about Quran, let's do it in Arabic because that's
Okay, you gave me the Arabic, ruh. You just said it's not the word angel, so translate ruh in English.
Ruhana,
What does that mean in English?
spirit.
Oh, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. Okay, spirit. So who gave her a faultless son?
Who gave her a faultless?
Oh my goodness, man, are you kidding me?
Because you're just trying to trap me in this.
I'm giving you the ayat. Oh my goodness, it's in front of you, 17 to 19. I am only a messenger of your Lord, sent to give you a faultless son. Who's speaking?
It does have, because it's an Aryan Trinity. You'll see. That's what we're going through right now.
17 told you.
They have to lie about the translation from the Arabic into the English in order to try to cover it up. Well, right. It does not believe in the Orthodox Trinity, but the representation of the Christian text as it appears, it still has Spirit, Jesus, as the faultless Son, so to speak, and also God. And it all comes together at the Immaculate Conception, which they do believe in. All right, we'll continue.
The ruh, the spirit who appeared as a man. My goodness, you can't get that?
The spirit who appeared as a man is an angel.
No, there's not a single verse in the Quran that says this spirit is an angel. No, give it to me. Show me where it says the spirit is an angel, and show me where it says angels are spirits. I challenge you. It's not in the Quran.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
Okay, so
Yeah,
let's come back now.
we're claiming that it's an
Can
Aryan
you speak English for the
Christianity.
people who speak English?
Okay, for the people that speak English, ruh means spirit.
So who gave her a faultless son?
Ruh, spirit.
Thank you. Finally, thank you, God. Thank you. Finally, she said the spirit. So the spirit gave her a faultless son. Now go to Surah Al-Tahrim, chapter 66, verse 12. Now we're going to go to, you said context, right? Now I'm going to give you other verses. Go to Surah Al-Tahrim, chapter 66, verse 12.
Surah Tahrim.
Yeah, that's chapter 66. If you don't know the name, it's okay. Just chapter 66.
Okay.
Read for me, verse 12.
Surah At-Tahrim, verse 12 says, okay, and the example of Maryam, the daughter of Imran, who guarded her chastity, so we blew into her garment through our angel, and she...
Okay, see again, this damn translation, butchering of the Arabic Quran. Shame on them. It didn't say we blew through our angel. It says we blew into her of our ruh. Read the Arabic again.
Yeah, fihi min ruhana.
Okay, so what did Allah breathe into her?
Ruhana.
And what is that again for him? What did he breathe into her? What's ruhana?
In English, ruhana means spirit.
Okay, so what did Allah breathe into Mary?
Ruhana.
This girl. I am Swahili. I don't speak Arabic. Translate. What did Allah breathe into her? English.
Oh, okay. If you don't speak, then I would say Allah wrote spirit.
Okay, see? It's so easy.
She finally
Allah blew
admits
his
spirit,
right?
dude.
That's the direct translation.
Yes, good. Okay. But can you tell me what the Arabic, sister, can you tell me what the Arabic ahsanat farjaha means? What's a farj?
Ahsanat farj?
Yes, right there. Ahsanat farjaha. That's the Arabic. What's a farj? Yeah, what's a farj?
I don't know.
You sure you don't know, or you're just too embarrassed?
No, I don't know.
It means the woman's vagina vulva, the private part.
Okay, yeah, that's why I don't know. I don't know words like that.
Okay, that's good. I pray God bless you. You stay a pure virgin and meet a godly Christian man to marry you and show you the love of Jesus in Jesus' name. Beautiful. I'm glad you're not spoiled and rotten like 90% of the world population. Anyway, it says Mary guarded her vagina vulva, and we breathe into her vagina vulva our spirit. Now, let me ask you a question. Why did Allah breathe the spirit into her private part? To do what?
To make her pregnant.
Wow! Everyone heard you. Thank you. So guys, hear what she just said. God sent his spirit to get
Now
her
he's gonna
pregnant.
walk it
So you
back.
just admit the spirit is creator and life giver. Good job. You just admit.
Yeah, by this verse, which says specifically says ruhana. Yeah.
Here are
And
the
so the spirit that came to
metaphysical
so the spirit that came
implications
to Mary
for
appeared as a
sticking with
man,
the Quran.
Spoke to her. She spoke to him, and he says, "I'm here to get you pregnant." And then he entered her body and got her pregnant. So here you just admit the spirit of God is a person who appears as a man who creates and gives life. Now do the math. How
Damascene.
many is that? Allah and the spirit. How many?
Hold
is
on. We're
Okay, but
we're
I said
doing the
that's what
logic right
direct
now.
translation means. I didn't say that was
So you want to go
the correct
indirect? Okay, how do you go indirect around this? What's the indirect?
I didn't say it was the correct translation.
Okay, let's go to indirect translation. Translate the way you want. Let's see. Okay, go ahead. Translate. Let's see how you're going to translate it.
The correct translation is that this is an angel.
So the angel created Jesus. So you made an angel a creator and a partner with Allah. So you now are a mushrik. You just committed shirk. Good job.
By
Did
the
you get
permission of
that?
God, just
So
like-
Allah
So if the Muslim wants to maintain, right, their deceptive translation from the Arabic into the English that it is not spirit and spirit means angel, then they're putting the creative power of God within that angel. Does that make sense? Which means, in other places in the Quran, it says that there is no other created being that could share in that same power, that creative power. So they're committing shirk if they decide to maintain this interpretation as angel. All right, we'll continue. Interesting.
permitted an angel. See, you're still not listening. Allah permitted an angel to create and give life. That means Allah made the angel his partner in creating and giving life. So now you just said Allah's the one who committed shirk. Good job. So Allah's a mushrik. Good job. Yay. Keep it up. Keep bearing your God.
Do you so Ramon, do you see how this like kind of destroys the own, Islamic metaphysic? Their own Quran does. Because the hypothesis, right, from Damascene is that he learned of Christianity from an Aryan Christian. So if what he's representing in the Quran as the Christian narrative is the erroneous Aryan narrative, then clearly you're going to have logical contradictions that remain within the Quran. Anyways, we'll continue.
Keep it up.
It gets
I said by the
better.
permission of God.
So Allah gave permission to an angel to create and give light, which means Allah permitted an angel to be his partner in creating. So Allah committed shirk. What don't you get?
No, he didn't give permission to create and give life.
Who created Jesus in the womb? You just said the spirit was the angel. Are you not backpedaling? Backpedaling?
I'm not backpedaling.
So who created Jesus in the womb?
The angel.
Oh, so the angel created.
The angel couldn't do it by himself.
So Allah gave him the ability to create. Allah gave him the ability. So Allah made an angel his partner in creating and allowed him to share in his power to create. So you end up with Allah being a mushrik. So you can't get out of this. You just condemned Allah for committing shirk, and you still don't get it.
No, because that was God's will. He gave him
God's will to commit shirk. Good job. God's will to commit shirk. Allahu Akbar. Thank you. So guys, you heard it. Her God willed to commit shirk because he took a creature and gave the creature the ability to create, committing shirk. Allahu Akbar. Thank you. You just condemned your God to hell.
Sam Shamoun's points stand strong in this debate, exposing a critical inconsistency in the Muslim argument. The Quran in Arabic clearly uses the term ruh, spirit, and not malik, angel. This distinction matters because the Quran never equates the spirit with an angel. The spirit appears to Mary as a man and declares that he is sent to give her a faultless son, Sura 19:17-19. This act of creating life directly attributes divine authority to the spirit, a role that cannot belong to a mere angel without violating Islamic monotheism, Tawheed. When the Muslim debater claims the spirit only acts by God's permission, this doesn't solve the issue. Even if permission is given, attributing creative power to a created being makes that being a partner in God's unique role as creator. This is the very definition of shirk, associating partners with God. The spirit in the Quran acts as a creator and life giver, roles Christians affirm as belonging to the Holy Spirit, one person of the triune God. Sam's argument is airtight. Either the spirit is divine, or the Quran's theology collapses into contradiction.
Gabriel brought the spirit.
Nowhere does it say Gabriel. Gabriel doesn't mention Gabriel. Don't add the words. Gabriel's not
angel.
And where does it say the angel brought the spirit? It said no. The angel said, "I will give you a faultless son." Going with your translation, I'm going to give you the son.
Okay, that's why you have to read tafsir. I'll put it on.
Oh, you wait all this time. You didn't want to go to hadith, but now you want to go to tafsir. And yet the tafsir, they come centuries later, and they're going to tell you what they think the Quran means. But when I wanted to go to hadith, don't go to hadith, but let's go to tafsir. Woman, you are embarrassing yourself.
I don't think that it's an embarrassment because it's just honest questions being asked.
What
but
honest
like
questions? I asked you questions. Can you just admit the spirit is a creator and life giver? So either Allah is two or Allah is someone who commits shirk. So you're not going to get around this. You're stuck.
According to in Islam, Allah is one, and that's it.
One what? Is he one what? One door, one vehicle, one tire, one attribute? One what? One what?
One God.
Okay, what does one God mean?
That's it. One God.
What does that mean? Okay, what does it mean to be one God? You didn't explain anything.
One God.
That's it? You're going to repeat it? One God, one God. What does that mean? Okay, okay, Allah, oh, he has how many names? Wait, hold on, you said he's one. How can he have 99 names? He's only one. You can't have more than one.
99 names, attributes.
You can't, no, if he's one, he can't have 99 attributes. You can only have one if he's one. Sorry.
No, that's not true.
Oh, thank you for laughing. Laugh with me, sister. Let's laugh together. That's
Yeah, that's the point, right? Is that you see, Ramon, you're asking, is there something more substantive, right? Logically, metaphysically, that is incongruent with the Muslim theses? It's literally in virtue of their misrepresentation of Christianity. How ironic. How ironic. Yeah. I don't think he's interested. All right, we'll continue
That's my
watching.
point, and you're still not getting it. To say God is one doesn't tell me what that means, because you can have God being one in one way, but being more than one in another way, and you still don't get it. And you just proved my point, and you still don't get it. Exactly. Just because God is one doesn't mean that that one God can't be a plurality. Since you believe the one God has a plurality of names and still can be one, so why can't he be a plurality of persons and still be one God? You're not getting it.
Because that's a direct contradiction.
Where does the Quran say Allah is only one person, therefore he can only be one person if he's one? Where? Give me the verse.
The most basic Quranic verse that every Muslim knows.
And it doesn't say he's one person. Sorry, it doesn't work. Qul huwa Allahu ahad doesn't prove your point. It says he's one.
What does
Okay.
Allahu ahad mean?
I'm asking you what it means. What does it mean? So Allah is ahad.
One God.
What does it mean for him to be one God? That means he only has one name. See, ahad means Allah only has one name. Prove me wrong.
Qul huwa Allahu ahad means same.
And that means he has only one name.
One God.
One God, one name. That's it. If he's ahad, that means he only has one name because he's ahad. That's it. I just destroyed your religion. Prove me wrong.
Doesn't say anything about name.
Thank you. And it doesn't say anything about persons. It doesn't say he's ahad, one person, just like it doesn't say ahad, one name. See, you're helping me refute you. Good job. Keep it up. Thank you.
Yeah, so then it says, Qul huwa Allahu ahad, Allahu samad, lam
And what
yalid
does
wa lam
samad mean?
Lam yalid wa lam yulad.
What does samad mean?
He does not give birth, nor does he
What does samad mean? You still didn't answer my question. What does samad mean? Exactly. Because even your Muslim scholars didn't know what samad meant. Now, when it says lam yalid wa lam yulad, okay. In the Quran, what does it mean? Lam yalid wa lam yulad. In the Quran, what does it mean?
Lam yalid wa lam yulad means he does not give birth, and nor has he
Give
begotten.
birth in what way? According to the Quran. How does the Quran define that word? To give birth sexually, right?
Correct.
And so can you name one Christian who believes that God gave birth to Jesus sexually?
Sexually?
Yeah, because the word yalad, let me explain. Lam yalad wa lam yulad, that word, walad in the Quran, Always, when it's used in the Quran, always it means offspring through sexual intercourse. Always, when the word walad is used. Always in the Quran. So no Christian believes that Jesus is God's walad through sex, that God had sex and he gave birth to Jesus. So that doesn't say anything about my deen. So you're misapplying it. So now I want to ask.
I don't know about that. I'll have to take your word on
No,
that.
you read it because I've done the research.
Which means sexual.
Yes.
Like I said, that's.
Yes, I even wrote articles on it. The word walad always in the Quran refers to offspring through sexual intercourse. Your parents, children. It always means children born through sexual union. Okay, now I want to ask you a question, and we're going to end it because I got to do another live stream somewhere else. In chapter 6 of the Quran, verse 101, chapter 6 of the Quran, verse 101, there it says, wonderful, I want you to listen to this, wonderful originator of the heavens and the earth. How can he have an offspring seeing he has no consort? In other words, he can't have a child without a consort, right?
So
Okay,
this
you
is
sure
the
you
next
agree with that
crux,
logic?
right? How can God have a son, right, without a consort? How can he create a faultless son without having a consort?
Have a son when he does not have a companion,
Yes.
and he created all things.
So you agree with that logic? That he can only have a
Correct.
companion if he has...
Right. That's the problem with Arianism, right?
a consort, and if he doesn't have a consort, he's not going to have a companion? You agree with that logic? You got to agree with the Quran here. You can't say you don't agree, right?
Yeah, of course, because there are things that God can't do.
Okay.
God can't die.
Excellent. Okay, we'll get to that part. We'll talk about whether you can or not. You're assuming too much. You just proved that your God is an ignoramus. Do you know why? Can I tell you why you just proved God is an ignoramus?
Enlighten me.
Okay, because Mary said the same thing to the Spirit. If you go back to Surah Al-Maryah, chapter 19, verse 20, she said the same thing. How can I have a son seeing I've known no man? And your God said that's easy. So wait, it's easy for Mary to have a son without a consort, but your God, it's too difficult for him to have a son unless he has a consort. So Mary is bigger and better than your God.
No, definitely not.
See.
So then why could Mary have a son without a consort, but your God can't have a son unless he has a consort? Why?
He can't have a son, period.
No, that's not true. Nowhere does it say can't have a son, period. Because in chapter 43 of the Quran, verses 3 and 4, it says that this Quran, chapter 43, verses 3 and 4, it says this Quran is in the mother of the book, Kitab, that's with us. Can you read that for me? Chapter 43, verses 3 and 4?
Quran 43.
Verses 3 and 4. Watch here. Read for
It says, indeed, we have made it in Arabic Quran that you might understand. And indeed, it is in the mother of the book with us, exalted and full of wisdom.
Okay, pay attention to verse 4. This Quran is in the mother of the book, Kitab, that is with us. So that means the Quran has a mother, the mother of the book. That's with Allah. Now, listen to me carefully because I want you to now refute the logic. The Quran you said is the word of Allah. The Quran has a mother. It's in the mother of the book. If the Quran has a mother and it's the word of Allah and the mother is with Allah, that means the Quran's mother is the wife of Allah. Allah is the father of the Quran, according to Islamic logic.
No, because
Yes, it's right there.
problem,
You read it.
the problem with what you're saying is that you're assuming that everything is just a black and white. That's not how it works.
I'm sorry, I'm just using the
trying to
no, you can't
see
get around this. I'm using the logic of the Quran. If the Quran is in the mother of the book, Kitab, mother of the book, and the mother is with Allah, that means the mother belongs to Allah. And the Quran is the word of Allah, that means Allah is the daddy.
The argument brilliantly dismantles the flawed reasoning in the Islamic claim about Allah's nature and his ability to have a son. The Quran itself creates contradictions that Muslims struggle to address logically. For example, in chapter 19, verse 20, Mary asks, "How can I have a son when no man has touched me?" The Spirit responds that it is easy for Allah. Yet in chapter 6, verse 101, the Quran states, Allah cannot have a son because he has no consort. This exposes a double standard. Mary, a human, can have a son without a consort, but Allah, the all-powerful creator, cannot. This inconsistency raises a critical question. Why would something that is possible for Mary be impossible for Allah? It undermines the very claim of Allah's omnipotence. Moreover, the mother of the book concept from chapter 43, verses 3 to 4, further complicates matters. If the Quran, called the word of Allah, exists within the mother of the book, then logically the mother must belong to Allah. This metaphorical language, when pressed, leads to absurd conclusions about familial relationships for Allah, highlighting the incoherence in these arguments.
I can refute you because it doesn't mean mother of the book doesn't mean literally there is a mother.
No, I'm sorry, I'm going to take it literally because Allah can't have a son unless he has a consort. So he can't have a son spiritually unless he has a consort. So the Quran can't have a mother unless it's literally and sexually. And Allah's the daddy because the mother's with Allah and the Quran is the word of Allah. Allah's the daddy. Mini abuch, Allah.
Yeah, you can't take that literally. And
Oh, you can't take that literally. So the Quran can have a mommy.
Why not? I don't know. I don't know much about as much as about Mormonism. Okay. Yeah, we can explore that a little later. They have a whole different metaphysical paradigm that to try to explain it under. Because they don't ascribe to the Trinity either.
Mary can have a son without having sex and a consort, and the mommy of the Quran can have a book without having a consort, but your poor Allah can't have a son unless he has sex. So the mother of the Quran is greater than Allah, and Mary's greater than Allah, because they can have offspring and children without sex, but your poor God can't have a son unless he has sex. Oh, Jibreel, please help me. I am Allah, even though I can do everything. I can't have a son unless I have a consort, but Mary can have a son without a consort, and the Quran can have a mommy without having a daddy. Jibreel. Are you serious?
yeah, so there's some things that Allah can't do. For example, God can't go to hell. God can't.
Wait, who's sustaining hell? Wait, no, let me catch you. Who's sustaining hell? Who's giving life to hell? Who's preserving hell?
Yeah, God, but God.
Ah, now you caught yourself.
To hell.
No, you count yourself.
Yes,
Once you admit, you're not listening. Once you admit Allah sustains hell and is given life to hell, he has to be there because hell has to be in his control. So no, you just refuted yourself.
He's not there. He can be in his control, and he's
How
not there.
can he
That's what
not
I'm
be
saying.
there so he can control something without being there? Explain that to me.
Yeah, I can
How?
have a business in Dubai.
No, but you're not God, and you have no control of your business. That's going to refute you, because if you're not in your business personally, you don't know what they're doing to your business in Dubai. No, that actually refutes you, because you're not in Dubai running the business. You're here trusting the people that are honest, but you don't know if they're stealing or destroying your business. That destroys your argument.
Okay, so in Christianity, you believe that God can go to hell.
Well, let me explain. In Christianity, don't change it because you argue. In Christianity, the entire creation is before God. He oversees every part of creation. He sustains every part of creation. So he's actually present in hell, not to suffer, but to punish. Yes, Revelation 14, verses 9 to 11, and Psalm 139, 7 to 8. So don't teach me my religion. I know what I believe, and I know what it means.
Then can God go to hell to suffer?
Why would he go to hell to suffer when he's the one who's punishing people in hell? The suffering comes from him.
Okay, so that's proof that God can't do something.
No, okay, wait, sister, hold on. You said he's not in hell, so now you believe he's in hell, but he's not there to suffer?
When I said in hell, I said he's not going to condemn himself. I literally used the word condemn.
Okay, so all right, okay, so now that's fine. Now show me that God having a son is one of the things he can't do. Show me that.
I said lam yalid wa lam yulad, but you told me that's
Yeah,
sexual.
yeah, because walad throughout the Quran means natural parentage and offspring through sexual intercourse. Oh my goodness.
Okay, God cannot die. Is that something you
Okay,
agree
and what do you mean by
with
die?
or not?
Wait, what do you mean by die? God can't die. What do you mean by die?
The
Explain it.
Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost. all
What do
three
you mean by die? You're not answering the question. What do you mean by die?
As in die. What? There's no explanation.
Yeah,
for
there
what
is.
Die.
There's
Yeah.
different explanations here. I'll give you an example because you still don't get it. In Surah Al-Baqarah, chapter 2, verse 154, it says the martyrs, the shaheed, who were killed, say not they're dead. They're not dead, but they're alive. So they didn't die?
Say they're not dead.
They're not dead, they are alive, though you perceive not. That's what Surah Al-Baqarah, chapter 2, verse 154 says. So are they dead or they're not dead?
That's what was perceived.
Okay, so they didn't die?
That's what was perceived.
But it said they're killed. What are you talking about? So that's what I'm saying. Explain death. Death, if you mean death ceasing to exist, even human beings that die don't cease to exist. If you mean death, that God can become man and have that physical body put to death and still be alive, he can do that. And he did it in Jesus Christ. So what do you mean by death?
Meaning, okay, you said the Son, right? The Son came down, he died. What about the Father? Can
Father
the
didn't
Spirit
become man.
die?
If the Father became man and chose to die human death, yes. If the Spirit became man and chose to experience human death, yes. But the Father and the Spirit did not become men. Jesus did, and as a man, he experienced human death, but he was still alive and didn't cease to exist.
So according to you, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost can all die. According to
Let me repeat it again. If the Father wanted to become man and experience a human death, he could do that. If the Spirit wanted to become man and experience human death, he could do that. The Son chose to become man. He experienced human death, but he was still ever living and never ceased to exist. I just answered the question, yes.
you said the Son chose to become man.
Yes,
but I
John
thought
10, 17, 18.
I thought it was the
What?
Father sent to the Son.
Are you like mentally challenged? You thinking that because the Father sent him, that he was forced against his will? The Father sent the Son, and the
I
Son
didn't say forced
perfectly.
against his will.
So now do you see there he's refuting Arianism. But in order to do this with a Muslim, Ramon, he has to know the Arabic.
What?
I didn't say
It's a
forced.
clever
The Son
deception of
chose to die.
Satan.
John 10, 17, 18. For this reason, the Father loves me, because I lay my life down of my own accord. No one can take it
Yeah.
away from me. Yes.
Sam emphasizes the inconsistency in the Muslim argument regarding the mother of the book, al-Kitab. He points out that if Muslims interpret mother of the book figuratively while rejecting literal interpretations for Allah needing a consort to have a son, they're applying a double standard. Brilliant move, Sam. He's exposing a gap in their reasoning. If Mary can have a son without a consort, why can't Allah, an all-powerful deity, have a son spiritually without one? The logic here is sharp. Then there's the point about God's presence in hell. Sam skillfully uses scripture, like Psalm 139, 7 through 8, and Revelation 14, 9 through 11, to affirm that God's presence sustains all creation, including hell. This dismantles the idea that God's absence from hell somehow limits his sovereignty. Great point. God doesn't suffer in hell, he executes justice. Finally, Sam clarifies that God's ability to experience death as Jesus isn't a contradiction but an expression of divine will. His reference to John 10, 17 to 18 seals it. Jesus laid down his life willingly, emphasizing his authority even in death. The argument about God's inability to die falls apart when you consider the nuanced Christian understanding of death.
Do you know the context of Mark 15, 34? What is going?
Contradiction?
No,
Chose to die.
no,
Why?
no,
To me.
no. Let me tell you why there's no contradiction. Because being an ignoramus, you don't know where he's quoting from. Mark 15, 34, my God, why have you forsaken me? He's quoting Psalm 22, verse 1. Can I now explain to you what he means so you don't make that stupid argument again?
Sure.
Okay, let's go to Psalm 22, verse 1.
Mhm.
That's what he's quoting. Okay, let's go there.
So he's just quoting.
No, if you let me
That's not
finish the
his
point,
own
you're going to
words.
get school. If you let me finish one, you're going to get school. Here's what he's quoting, Psalm 22, verse 1. Psalm 22, verse 1, to the chief musician, said to the deer of the dawn, a psalm of David, my God, why have you forsaken me? Now let's finish it. Why are you so far from helping me from the words of my groaning? Jesus' words isn't why you've abandoned me. His words are, how much longer will I remain in this condition where I'm under the judgment for sin when it's now finished, done with, over with? It's not, oh, why you forsake? It's how much longer will I remain in this predicament? It's all finished. The sin debt has been paid. It's over. And then guess what happens when Jesus said that? The darkness was removed because God answered him. Son, it is over. Time to come home. That's when he says, Father, into your hands I commit my spirit. So it's not, oh my God, why'd you forsake me, Father? No, it's, Father, all things are finished. I have fulfilled your will. I have drunk the cup. The debt of sin is paid. how much more longer will the judgment last now that all things are finished? And the answer is, it's over, son. That's why the darkness vanished. And then he says, Father, into your hands I commit my spirit. So don't quote passages out of context when you need to read passages in context, because you're going to keep embarrassing yourself.
That's fine. I won't quote passages out of context, but even the way that you just explained it right now, it sounds like a father or a God talking to a human. It doesn't sound like two gods that are all knowing.
And I don't believe they're two gods. Number one, I don't believe they're two gods, two persons. And why can't one speak to the other, especially Jesus, trying to signify to people in front of him, I'm fulfilling the prophecy. And now see that the Father hears and does everything I ask. That's actually a sign from Jesus to show he's the Almighty Son who gets whatever he wants because the Father does everything that the Son asks. What are you talking about? But now it's
a sign that he says, why?
Yes, because did God answer him right away and remove the darkness? Yes or no? That's a sign that I'm the Almighty Son of God who gets whatever I want from the Father because the Father always does what I ask. And that's in John 11, 41, 44. But before I go there, you sure you want to use this argument? Because now you're going to prove that Allah is a false God. You sure you want to use this argument?
Yeah, I want to use that argument.
You sure? It's Arabic, right?
Yeah,
Arabic, right?
My art. I know Arabic.
Go to Surah Al-Baqarah. You just destroyed Allah. You just destroyed Allah and buried Allah. Yes, you did. Go to Surah Al-Baqarah. Go to Surah Al-Baqarah. Allahu Akbar. Go to Surah Al-Baqarah, chapter 2, verse 157. 157.
157?
Yes, because you just destroyed Allah because your God prays. Who does he pray to? Read for me the Arabic, slowly. Surah chapter 2, verse 157.
أولئك عليهم صلوات
Repeat that word again. Salawatun. And then finish it.
من ربهم
Okay.
ورحمة وأولئك هم المهتدون.
What does the word salawat mean?
Blessings.
You wicked liar. The word blessing is barakah. A'udhu billah. A'udhu billah. You think you're going to lie to me and get away with it. The word salawat is plural for salah. The word for blessing is barakah. Barakah is blessing. Barakat would be blessings. The word salawat means prayers. Why would you lie to me?
Yeah, I'm not lying. I'm reading Sahih International.
Forget Sahih International for the love of your God. What is the word prayers in Arabic? Say the word prayers in Arabic. Say it again.
Salah.
And then what's salawat?
Prayers, plural.
Ah, so you just admitted. It says, the prayers of your Lord is upon them. What prayers of your Lord? Your Lord has prayers?
Yeah, he can.
Oh, so your God can pray, but Jesus can't pray to the Father. Wow, you inconsistent hypocrite.
How is that inconsistent? God can.
Why can't Jesus pray to the Father and still be God if your God Allah can pray and still be God?
Did I say Jesus can't pray to
Yeah,
the
you just
Father?
said that earlier. It sounds like a human being speaking to God, not two gods speaking to each other. Yeah, you just said that. What are you talking about? That was your argument.
I didn't say anything about prayer. I just said it sounds like somebody is uncertain.
No,
it should be
how
certain.
can it be uncertain when he's saying it's time to be reconciled? It is now over because I have drunk the cup fully. It is finished because the psalmist is telling you it's not, oh God, okay, it's done with. Time to come home. You can ask a question, not because you're looking for an answer, but ask a question in order to put someone on the spot or to get your request. In other words, here, I'll give you an example. How much longer are you going to be stupid? Am I asking or am I actually belittling you and saying, stop being stupid?
Okay, is there another verse in the Bible that is like what you said?
Yes, all over the Bible and the Quran. In the book of Quran, when Abraham asked Allah to show him how he gives life to the dead, didn't Allah ask him a question? Why? Do you doubt? Why was he asking a question?
Why do you doubt? Because he's testing his faith.
Oh, but why does he ask? Sure sounds like Allah's a human being who's asking a human being to help him understand the question.
No, he knows, but he's helping him understand.
Oh, but when
He's
Jesus
helping
asks questions, it immediately assumes he's ignorant. You see your inconsistency again?
the difference is that you're saying Jesus is God.
But Allah's God. Allah's the one who's telling Abraham, why are you doubting me?
Correct.
So how can Allah ask? I thought he's God. He knows everything.
He does know everything.
Why is he asking?
He's not asking out of ignorance.
Oh, but Jesus must be asking out of ignorance. You see why you're inconsistent?
His explanation of Jesus quoting Psalm 22:1 is brilliant. When Jesus said, "My God, why have you forsaken me?" It wasn't despair. It was fulfillment of prophecy. Psalm 22 starts with a cry of anguish, but ends in victory, showing God's ultimate plan unfolding. Jesus wasn't questioning. He was signaling the mission was complete. It is finished. Ties perfectly to this. Now, the argument about Allah praying is where Sam really shines. The Muslim debater claims salawat means blessings, but Sam dismantles that with the fact that salawat is plural for prayers, while blessing.
I guess Ramon stopped watching. Ramon, are you still there? So, I know that was pretty long. That's why I put it at 1.5 speed, so it would only take like 10-15 minutes. What are your thoughts now? Like, your original question was, is there something more substantive, right? All I can offer is St. John Damascene's hypothesis. If we test this hypothesis against the Quran, this is what we come up with. Sam Shimon's amazing. He's a goat.